Okay, how we doing? So we are back again, another new day, and we are now going to crack on with the arrangement. Okay, so I've brought some of these sound effects across just off camera, so let's crack on. So that whistle needs to come back. Turn them on. Sounds quite cool there, but let's see what it sounds like where I originally intended them to go. And then what I want to do is I want to try and make sure the beginning of this noise is like on the offbeat. It's just going to help it sort of flow a bit better, I think. Yeah, see, just even though it doesn't necessarily have a transient, I'm just trying to find that first peak, either that one or that one, and it's in line with, oh crap, it's in line with that offbeat. I might leave that bass out. That's definitely going to need a lot of work in the mix down, but so with this one here, I'm just going to turn off the automation line for a minute. So this was our little clav loop, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to filter that in over time. And just for ease, I've just used the fades. I'm just going to get it fading how I want it to fade. I'm just going to consolidate this as a clip. So the reason why I've consolidated as a clip now is just easier for me to then put in the right place. I know that's where I want it to be, so I just need to find the beginning of a bar, as in 16, put it there, and it's going to be in the right place. Saves me fannying around as I crack on with the arrangement. So let's put him there. And then we're going to find, so I feel like if we put that there where the kick comes out, and then we'll just play around. So I quite liked it before then, it just sort of helped as like a little transition effect. I think that's how I want it, I just want it there, I believe. And then let's go into it. Just check what's going on. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Just try it without. Sounds better with it on. So you'll probably just get something in here to like fill it out. So I think maybe reverse these like top loops. And what I'm going to start doing now is using my send and returns. So on my send and returns, I have A, which is big verb, B, which is the standard delay, C, which is crystallizer, which is a Sound Toys effect rack plugin. So it's basically like an echo which alters the pitch. Is sick, especially if you combine it, like start stacking some of them on top. You can get some really nice effects. So the reason why I use send and returns instead of using it on the channel is, one, it's easier just to automate and know what's going on. you don't have to keep on turning on and off effects within the bus, or making sure the dry wet's down or anything like that. So it's just makes my life easier having it all on the side here as a send and return. Secondly, so the way a send and return works is it sends through the reverb. For example, let's just use a reverb, and then it's sending it back to the original signal. So what you'll find is the original signal, it won't be too heavily reverbed. So if I just, for instance, use this clap and I put the reverb all the way up, and then we put this same plugin on our clap channel, and let's just remove that. See now how that clap sounds completely washed out compared to that versus that. Same plugin, same dry wet, same parameters, but because it's getting sent for a send and return, I'm still getting the body and the front of that clap. So you can just get nicer effects without losing the transients and getting too washed out during breakdowns and stuff. But that is personal preference. If you want that sort of really heavily reverb, delayed or echoed effect, then put it on the channel by all means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate just the reverb up very slightly. So that's very, very subtle, as you can hear. You're probably only going to be able to hear that if you're listening on headphones or decent speakers. But all of these subtle differences make a massive difference within the track, and you'll see this throughout my whole arrangement process, that I'm automating things, reversing little things here and there, maybe just changing a hi-hat pattern. I'm just trying to make the track as dynamic and as alive as possible. Even though it's electronic music, I still want it to feel humanized and that there's more going on to it than just a bunch of loops. So we've done the reverb on the drums now. So what I just do is I just go down and I go, okay, well that's what the drum's done. All right, what do I want to do on the perks? So usually on the perk group, I always use this crystallizer. So I'm going to do the same again. Bring it down. You can hear what this is doing now. There you can sort of see how it's echoing but pitch and then sort of reverses at the same time. You can get some really nice effects with that. I go down again. Do I want to do anything with the synths? Probably not. Be maybe interesting to see what that sounds like reversed. It's probably not going to be needed. It's cool. I'll keep it like that. So we can maybe look to get like a little vocal hit in now.
Excuse me, can I please talk to you for...
That's very loud.
Excuse me, can I please, can I please, excuse me.
So I quite like just the excuse me part. I'm going to just trial it. See what it sounds like right before we drop.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
You can't even tell it says excuse me.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
But I quite like it.
Excuse me. Can I? Excuse me. Can I? Excuse me.
Or maybe just the can I. That sounds quite cool.
Can I please? Can I please? Can I?
Make sure on the offbeat.
Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I?
Yeah, I like that. So let's see if there's anything else I can sample from
Can I
it.
please talk to you for a minute? T for a minute. T for T for T for.
So quite like that. So just go Command E, and what I will do is insert audio track, and then the one that I've just made I'll put on below, and this new one I found we'll just put down there.
Can I please talk? Can I please talk for a minute? For a minute? For a minute? For a minute? For a minute?
Again, that's quite nice. That's cool.
Sure, you know.
That's nice. That's cool. May even use that in this beginning part.
Look kinda familiar. Look kinda familiar. Look kinda. Yeah, you do too. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So just sample that part.
Do too. But I just wanted to know, do you know somebody named
I like for that, and I'll show you in my head what I'm thinking with that in a second.
You know his name.
I can sort of see if this was reversed, it could maybe make quite a cool like vocal riser or sound effect. Right, so we know we don't want the rest of that crap. Well, not crap. Should be more respectful to other people's work. Right. And then while we're here, let's get this one. So I learnt this little little trick from Chris Lake, and you just sort of put it on a loop. And then you just keep it on play, and then you can just start going through it bit by bit, and then you'll find certain parts that you like the sound of. We've got plenty of air to work with, so in fact we can delete this whole channel now, can't we? So there we go. So that's how I sample from acapellas, and then what I then do is go and manipulate them and try and get more from it. Sorry, camera's in the way again.
Can I?
That's quite cool. So I'm actually gonna I think that needs to probably be pitched down a bit more. And then what we can do is get rid of the automation lines again. Filter in and filter out. If you weren't watching what I was just doing then, so I just explained what I've done, is the original acapella, we didn't have the warp feature on. So then when we're changing the pitch, it's not warping it to the BPM. So then it's shortening it if we went to a higher pitch. So if I just went all the way up and see, it's now non-existent. And if we go back down to minus 31 like I was on, it's now stretched that sample out. So we've just done this on like a little breath. So now we've got another sort of transitional sort of vocal effect.
Can I?
And you can imagine if you start doing this on like these, you can start getting some really weird sort of sounds.
Can I? Can I? Can I?
So I feel like I want that to happen before. Let's try that. So I'm going to put warp on, and we're going to try and stretch it. And then if we switch it to Complex Pro, it's then going to try and keep it to its original form. So let's see if we can stretch that a bit more. That just, because it's a bit slower now, or a bit more stretched out, it just seems to fit in the groove a little bit better. I may even decide later on that it could just be a dub track and don't need the vocal. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some more work on this vocal. So we're going to put a big reverb on it. And then we're going to put the decay, that space, put the decay right up. Stereo is quite far. Chorus, bright. Cool. And then what we're going to do, record, enable, or resample, record, enable. And we're going to keep that going until there's no more sort of volume or levels coming through. Then we can reverse this. So now we have this effect. And I can try one or two things now. Is I could try and turn this one off and see what this sounds like. Which sounds pretty cool, especially with some reverb and delay. Can even try it with the vocal on. Just remember to turn off the reverb. I don't know if it's just because it's too loud. Let's try it really quiet. Quite like it with it off. But with reverse vocal hits and stuff like that, we've obviously let it play right up until where it drops in, but you could cut it so then it has this really nice sucked in effect to the beginning of the original vocal. Okay, so I'm just going to move on and I'm going to leave that vocal in for the minute. You'll see I have a tendency, and I think a lot of producers too, to just sit here and try different versions and fiddle around for the sake of it. And look, I'm only on 1 minute into this track. I've hardly done any of the arrangement. So it's always best to get some good ideas down, do it, then move on to the next part of the arrangement, because you can always export this at the end of the day, listen to it on SoundCloud outside of the studio or wherever you produce, and then all of a sudden you'll be walking your dog, listening to what you've made, and you've gone, nah, that vocal sounds shit, and then you come in the next day and just delete it, instead of sitting here going, oh, does it sound good, or is it right, or is that gonna clash with that? Just always progress and move forward is my best bit of advice when it comes to arranging. So that's what we're going to carry on doing.